Hello and welcome to Outlook this week. We are out with a new edition. It's an extremely interesting edition. It's on Mahatma Gandhi, but we talk about a topic which normally is not discussed. We are talking about Gandhi and dissent. And with me, I have our executive editor, Satish Padmanabhan. Satish is the one who has put this edition together. So we'll be talking about this a little. Satish, tell us, what was the idea behind this Gandhi and dissent?
Actually, Pranay, as you know, it's Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary this 2nd October, and there's a hell of a lot happening around it. Almost all newspapers, magazines, television shows have got something or the other, about this momentous event. So, we had to really rack our brains a little bit how to sort of do something a little different, and not just go, with the tide. So we really had to think a lot about what can stand out in this, plethora of ideas that everybody else also have. Then we hit upon this. Why not look at people? Of course, Gandhi is one of the most admired men in our country in most sections.
The biggest icon.
Icon. So, but we were wondering, then we thought that in his life, of course, there were a lot of people, as is natural, who didn't agree with his ideas. Who kind of actually vehemently opposed some of them. So we then wondered, why not look at those people, and more importantly, how Gandhi dealt with them. If somebody didn't agree with him, then how did he sort of what happened then? The kind of exchanges, the letters maybe, or meetings. So that is basically the idea. And I must say that once we decided upon the idea, and we approached a lot of Gandhi scholars to write on this, almost everybody readily agreed that this is a new sort of an area to get into, and they were most thrilled actually to write about it.
We have a wide range of writers here. We have Rajmohan Gandhi, we have Sugata Bose, we have Tridip Suhrud, Douglas Allen, P.A. Krishnan, Pramod Kapoor, Akash Singh Rathore, Divya Dwivedi, and Shyam Mohan. Yeah, so it gives you a wide spectrum of ideas, opinions.
True.
On this topic.
Yeah. So first, of course, are the great Gandhi scholars. Rajmohan Gandhi, Tridip Suhrud, Sugata Bose is writing on Subhash Chandra Bose and how their sort of friction and how they sort of dealt with that. Rajmohan Gandhi, of course, talks about it's a vast, sweeping piece. It's full of as he always does. He's such a scholarly writer. It's full of minute details which. Many of us may have heard or read a little bit, but it's all there in one place. Tridip Suhrud, I think, is one of India's, the foremost Gandhi scholars in India. And despite his, all of them actually, especially Mr. Suhrud, despite his really busy schedule, he took time, to write about this dissent, in the Ashramite tradition he writes on. Then we have a lot of, a couple of young philosophers, this Divya Dwivedi and Shaj Mohan, who are writing on the, it's a sort of slightly abstract concept on dissent itself. Also, since you asked, of course, the reason we chose this is that there is so much talk about dissent in the public discourse right now, and how to deal with it,
One of the reasons for choosing this is it's such a relevant topic now, because we all know and we agree that unless you have space for dissent, a society can't really develop or progress.
Yes.
It's an essential part of a democratic polity, particularly. There should be different kind of ideas, and many times ideas which goes against the mainstream grain, which challenges those.
Yeah, exactly. In the sense that dissent is not a negative sort of an idea in that sense, in democracy particularly. It's like this is how creative ideas spring. If there is no dissent or if there is no argument, of any in any area, then it's really as poorer for that actually.
It also shows how confident you are. both as an individual and as a nation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. Then there are a couple of other pieces. Periyar, of course, was one from the southern, from the Dravidian movement, one of the big opponents of Gandhi. There's a piece on how Periyar what were his objections and how Gandhiji dealt with that. Then there is another, it's an event, I mean it's not a person, it's done by Mr. Pramod Kapoor on the naval mutiny of 1946, how Gandhiji didn't agree with
it.
He wasn't for it at all, neither was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. And so there is a piece about how an event is a Gandhiji is opposed to an event actually, and that is there. Then of course we can't leave Ambedkar out. Of course there's been so much written about Gandhiji and Ambedkar, but there's a really concise, precise piece by Akash Singh Rathod.
But Satish, can you tell us, I mean, as we know, Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister and a person very close to Mahatma Gandhi, often differed with him.
Yes.
So why did you leave out Nehru?
Actually, Pranay, it's exactly for that reason that there is so much written about it. I mean, there is so much material available. We were not very sure if we will be able to bring anything new to the table.
Okay.
You might say the same about Ambedkar also, but the piece here is a slightly tangential look and it's a very specific one.
Fine.
So that sums up about the Gandhi package. Of course, I mean it's these are all very scholarly, amazing writers.
But a wide array.
I left out Douglas Allen, who's
That's right.
this professor.
I wanted to ask you about what exactly has he focused on?
He's very interesting. He's an American professor. He's as some people have described him as the best Gandhi scholar in America.
That's right.
And he came out with a book recently, Gandhi after 9/11. So he's written about the world leaders who disagreed with Gandhi and how Gandhiji dealt with them.
Okay.
So it's a sort of a not from India but from abroad.
Interesting, yeah, because I think, I mean, even at the UN, India has taken the initiative, where the Prime Minister is there, that called a lot of leaders from different parts of the world to talk about Gandhiji and the relevance of his in today's world and how his ideas have really helped them.
Yes.
Dissent is very much part of it at Central.
Yeah.
I think.
So as the date approaches, the coming week, I'm sure it's going to be a hell of a lot of stuff on Gandhiji, and his various sort of teachings. And I just hope that this stands out. And a little one
about the cover.
Yeah, a word about the cover. Actually, this is as intriguing a cover that we could think of. This is a 1931 Vanity Fair cover on Gandhiji, which we got sort of rights to reproduce, and so we have done a little bit on that. So it is actually a Vanity Fair cover on Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah, but I was also looking at there are many interesting ways in it, like this panel that we have.
Yeah, I mean just to sort of break the monotony, just to get some color into the magazine. So these are all various sort of visual trivia, let's say, on Gandhiji. So this is a troll on him. There are various such little details which I hope you would like to it will be interesting,
especially for the young readers.
It's just a sort of otherwise it's just to break the monotony really of the black and white pictures. Apart from it's being a special issue on Gandhiji, the other important interview that we have is in fact done by Pranay on the petroleum sector. He met the Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, and it's basically with the main controversy or the topic is the West Asia and how.
That is correct.
Especially
yes, my focus was that I wanted to ask him that how worried we are, concerned we are about the developments that's taking place in West Asia, following tensions with Iran and other countries, particularly with the Americans, the kind of stand that they've taken vis-a-vis Iran, and many of its allies have also gone along. So there are a lot of talk about war in the region, which is so important for us as one of the main sources of India for its energy requirements. So I wanted to ask the minister how he saw it.
Okay.
What he explained, number one, was that despite the attack in Saudi Arabia, the drone attacks, there has not been a single day's disruption of oil. So that has carried on. Only for a day it had gone up a little, but then it, stabilized. It came down and all that. But what he told me, the assurance is that India now have a wide array of sources, and so its options are much more. And we are getting not only from sources but different kind of energy, and investing also heavily on renewables and new kind of energy, which is much more greener. So on that, and I think, we are absolutely in a position where there is nothing to worry about, despite our need. Though India is the third largest consumer of petrol today, but despite that, large number of countries are coming into the Indian petroleum sector, wanting to invest here, so that we can have not only greener, cleaner kind of in fossil fuel also, but beyond that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy reading the pieces as much as we enjoyed putting them together.
I find this quite fascinating, the cover and the topic both. So I am sure you'll enjoy it as much.
Thank you very much.